Right, now let's start with another sum of working capital. Now we are going to do sum number 4 on page number 286. We are doing question number 4, page 286. Question number 4 on page 286. Right, let's read the sum carefully. A factory produces 96,000 units. Right? Factory produces 96,000 units. So total units are 96,000 units per annum. If it is 96,000 units per annum, then it is going to be 8,000 units per month. How did I get this? Divide 96,000 by 12 per annum by 12, that will give you per month. Right? Next, they have given you and sells them for 50 rupees per unit. Selling price per unit is given to you as 50 rupees. The cost structure is as follows. Raw material they give you in terms of percentage, 60%, labor is 15%, overheads is 10%. Fine. Now, how do I get the CPU? You have to multiply selling price per unit with the percentage. You have to multiply the selling price per unit with the percentage. So 50 into 60% is going to give you 30. 50 into 15% is going to give you 7.5. 50 into 10% is going to give you 5. Do we understand how to get the CPU? Multiply the selling price per unit with the percentage. Next, you have to find out the per month figure. How do you get the per month figure? Multiply the CPU with the per month units. Multiply the CPU with the per month units. 8 3s are 24, 4 zeros. So 2,40,000. 7.5 into 8,000 is 60,000. 8 5s are 40, 40,000. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Now, once your working out is done, let's start with the fair work now. They said that raw material equivalent to 1 month's supply is stored in godown. Raw material is first adjustment, average amount locked in stock of raw material. We have found out the raw material to be 2,40,000. So this is going to be 2,40,000 into 1. They have said for 1 month, so you will take that as 1. So this is going to be 2,40,000 rupees. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Next, they have given you that production process takes 1 month. Production process means work in progress. We found out raw material is 2,40,000, labor is 60,000, overheads is 40,000. Takes 1 month, right? So into 1, into 1, into 1. Now if you remember, I told you this rule that whenever you are doing work in progress, labor and overheads has to be multiplied with an extra 0.5. So this you will multiply with 0.5 and 0.5. This is 2,40,000. This is going to be 30,000 and this is going to be 20,000. 270, 290, 2,90,000. Right? Let's move on ahead. Finished goods is equal to 3 months production. So raw material is 2,40,000 into 3, 60,000 into 3, 40,000 into 3. So this is going to be 4 3s are 12, 3 2s are 6, 7,20,000, 1,80,000 and 1,20,000. So this is going to be 10,20,000. Fine. Let's move on ahead. Debtors get 2 months credit. Debtors is calculated by this formula. Selling price per unit, which is 50. Total units is 96,000. Debtors period, they have said is 2 months divided by total periods, 12 months. So this is going to be 8 lakh rupees. Fine. let's move on ahead. Creditors are allowed 1.5 month credit, right? Creditors are allowed 1.5 month credit. Raw material is 2,40,000 into 1.5, right? So this is going to be nothing but 3,60,000. Next, time lag in payment of wages and overheads is half a month. They have given you wages and overheads is half a month. Half a month means 0.5. We have already found out wages to be 60,000 and overheads to be 40,000. So this is going to give you 30,000 and 20,000. Fine. Let's move on ahead. Now we will skip the 8th adjustment for the timing and do the 9th adjustment first. They have said that 10% of the sales are made at 10% above the normal selling price. That means some percentage of the sales has been made at some other price. That means some percentage of the sales is abnormal. Out of this total debtors can now be divided into normal debtors and abnormal debtors, right? In terms of percentage, they are saying that 10% of the sales is made at some other price. That means 10% of the sales is abnormal. That means 90% of the sales is normal, right? In terms of amount, 90% of 8 lakhs is 7,20,000. 10% is 80,000. How much is the excess charged? They are saying that 10% of the sales is sold at 10% above the normal selling price. We have found the normal selling price to be 80,000. 10% above it, that means 8,000. 10% more than 80,000, that is 8,000. Thus, my normal sales is 7,20,000. My abnormal sales is 88,000. So my total sales for debtors is going to be 8,08,000. So debtors, instead of being 8 lakhs, is going to be 8,08,000. Debtors is going to be 8,08,000. Debtors is going to be 8,08,000. Now let us see the last adjustment. That's the 8th adjustment. Cash and bank balance is to be maintained at 10% of working capital. So without cash and cash. If cash and bank balance is maintained at 10%, that means my working capital without cash should be 90%, right? If cash balance is maintained at 10% out of 100, if 10 rupees is cash, that means the balance 90% should be non-cash working capital. What I want you all to do is add 240, 290, 1020, 8,08,000. From that, subtract 360, 30 and 20,000. Write that figure below without cash and cross multiply, you will get the cash balance, right? Once you get the cash balance, write that amount in cash balance required and complete the sum. The balance part of the sum you should be able to complete on your own now, right? This finishes this sum. Thank you very much.